Yusuf, Kakamega County, of course, by and large, for the long period, it used to be sort of the headquarters for the Luya community, that is the Mulembe nation. And Mulembe, for those who understand, Mulembe means peace. So largely, by now, it has relatively remained peaceful. And of course, I feel in Buebuye, Kakamega County, Kakamega town, people are very optimistic. Of course, you can say they are wallowing in the miasma of electoral anxiety. This is the first time that we are having sort of a lacuna or a gap of 48 hours to the polls. Traditionally, campaigns have ended 24 hours to the ballot. But this time round, of course, with the new electoral laws in place, we have a 48-hour gap. And therefore, there's sort of some anxiety, electoral anxiety. So that is the miasma in which people of this region, of course, are going through, because it's a new phenomenon. Ordinarily, would have expected after yesterday, tomorrow, and the whole bit is done. So that is it. But we are talking to an elder of the Luya community. He calls he is by the name Francis Atoli, and would want to know relatively the Western region. Of course, to many it appears that people will be keeping a close eye to Western region. What is the community, what is the mood like on the ground, what you've heard in terms of preparation? This is a new, that 48 hours and there's no activity, people are waiting to go to the ballot.
For the first time, Western Kenya has relatively remained calm from any distortion of information, propaganda, or any mayhem, apart from few incidences that took place in Busia last week, of which I think are manageable. The only worry, everybody here in Western Kenya is prepared for elections on Tuesday, very early in the morning. And as I've said, this is the first time even Luyas themselves are calm, just waiting to wake up and go and vote. There have been any Luya person soliciting for funds from candidates, unless where the candidate himself tries to sell himself by giving out whatever he has or she has.
Tell us what we've woken up to, the fact that IBC has gone public and clearly told the country that there are areas that they might have a weaker network, and therefore IBC officials will be forced to walk to some areas before they file the results. What is your take?
That is where I was coming to, because I met Chibukati in my position as Secretary General of the Central Organization of Trade Unions, so a person in charge of labor movement in Kenya, with my team for assurance, because in case of anything happens, the recipients of any problem in the past and or even in the future are workers, women, and children. But he assured us on that assurance that in those places where network will have a problem, they have satellite system that will be able to replace any technical problem that might occur. So we are expecting the satellite equipment that IBC is having to be put in place in those 11,000 areas. We don't want to hear that they were unable to transmit the results. That is why they resorted into manual or some unorthodox way, and either votes increased or were less. Such a thing would discredit the entire IEBC arrangements that they had entered into earlier. So Kenyans are expecting free, fair, and credible elections on Tuesday. And in Western Kenya, people are serious about these elections. These are not normal elections. People want to cast their votes. And as I did promise Kenyans and Western Kenya as a whole, as Luyas, that our ballot box will be one. And I have gone throughout every constituency. They are geared for that. They don't mind. We might have some pockets of MPs from here and there. But when it comes to presidential and other serious areas like governors and so on, the Western Kenyan people are serious about it. They want to secure their province. They want to secure their province in terms of voting. They want to secure their province and their community in terms of oneness. And they want to secure their people by exhibiting openly that they can vote as a community.
Lastly, as we wind up, the president has appealed to residents of Nairobi not to run away because there are those that have said to be taking off. People are anxious about this election. Many pundits are saying it will be a closely contested election than in the country's history. What would be your appeal, particularly to the workers that you represent? Because the president has urged everybody, has guaranteed them the government will provide security.
Actually, that people, Nairobians, are being quoted out of context. Nobody is running away. What happened when IEBC allowed Kenyans to transfer their areas or their stations of voting, the polling stations that you are free to transfer from one place to another? Most of Nairobians transferred their polling stations to rural areas and where they came from mostly. So people who are living in Nairobi are people who are not registered in Nairobi. They are going up country to where they will be voting. There is no alarm in that. And if you want to know there is no alarm on that, I have some of my children who registered in Nairobi, and they have decided to remain in Nairobi and vote there. So I don't think whether that is a big issue. And with the assurance from both central government and the IEBs and every politician that there must be peace, and the arrangements that have been put place by police and the government, we expect credible elections. Unless some rumors of which we have started hearing that some of the politicians in the government are trying to plan to meet some of the IEBs officials and so on, that is what might cause a little bit a problem and so on. The IEBC staff should not be able to have arrangement of even having a cup of tea with either a contestant or a politician at this particular time. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Yusuf. That is Kotu Secretary General Francis Atwoli, of course, raising his concerns on that latest communication from the IEBC chair, Wanyonyi Wafula Chebukati, in regard to areas where we might have network challenges. Of course, they are saying prior to today or tomorrow to Tuesday, IEBC gave an undertaking that they were fully prepared, and therefore just voicing his concern on that. And, of course, appealing to workers to ensure that they vote out freely, and as well to ensure that there is a unity, and of course dispelling rumors that there's political tension in the country. I think from now I'll hand over to you, Yusuf. Hope to join you later when we are in Busia County, one of the areas that will be keenly followed after Tuesday 6 in the morning. Over to you, Yusuf.
Khaimba, before you go to Busia, one final question here. We've had the results from pollsters who are, of course, clearly indicating that around 2.2 to 5% of Kenyans, are undecided, and they've said these huge number are in Western Kenya. I'm sure the good Secretary General there might disagree. But from your own capacity, have you managed to talk to people there, and what are they saying? Have they made up their mind? We're just 2 days away.
I think that question I'll pose to the Secretary General briefly. I'm told that pollsters have said we have some pocket or a section of Kenyans that are still undecided. Do we have such caliber of Kenyans that you can say to the D-Day they are still undecided?
In Western, there was nobody from the word go undecided. After 31st of December 2016, in Buhungu Stadium, Western Kenyans meeting, where all lawyers converged, about 1 million of them, that day undecided voter was nowhere in Western Kenya.
What of countrywide?
Countrywide. There was nowhere where there is undecided voter. That was a creation of the press. That has been a political creation. Here in Kenya, here in Western Kenya, we have denied it. At the coast, people have denied it. There have been enough sensitization by both Jubilee and NASA as far as these elections are concerned. So there is no anywhere in this country where there are undecided voters. Yeah, that one you can take it for free from me.
Yes, Yusuf, you are advised to take it free from the Secretary General that in Kenya there are no undecided voters and people have been properly politically radicalized. You are either in Jubilee, NASA, or the other formations, but as far as undecided voters are concerned or is concerned in Kenya, he says that is a narrative, a creation by the media.
Many thanks, Duncan Khaimba, for that update from Khwisero in Kakamega, even as you make your way to Busia County. Of course, we're going to link up with Khaimba and all our reporters across the country who are keeping tabs for us at this critical moment when the country is preparing for this very historic moment, the election